Hello again, it's David with Ag Economic Insights joining you for the Ag Forecast Network question of the week. This week, we're updating and revisiting a question that's been on our minds for well over the last year. It's U.S. gasoline consumption, and we're starting to get closer to quote unquote normal pre pandemic levels. Our eyes are watching 9.5 million barrels per day with the related Ag Forecast Network question, but we're going to take a look at the most recent data and also the question to show you how things are moving along. So here is the question we're following in the Forecast Network question. What's the probability of implied gasoline consumption in the U.S. Measured as weekly supplied finished motor gasoline exceeding 9.5 million barrels per day between May 1st and September 1st, 2021? On my forecast, I upped it a lot here recently. I'm very close to 100%. As you can see, the consensus had to hang around 90%. Again, the recent data drop coming from the middle of May really upped the forecast network as well. So let's talk about the recent data that we've seen. Again, this is data through the middle of May. Here you can see in orange the 2021 data. As you can see, it's been oscillating up and then it steps back, and then a step higher, and then a step lower. Then we sort of this oscillation back and forth. And as you can see, we got above 9 million barrels. Looking to even get any higher with the more recent data, but look for context of where we were a year ago, much improved from 2020 levels at this time. In fact, we're the highest we've seen at 9.1 million barrels per day. This is the highest we've seen throughout the entire pandemic. Of course, we were considerably higher. Gasoline was really, consumption was very strong pre-pandemic. Now, what does it compare like to the pre-level? So we have the average in the of 2015 to 2019, and we also plot the range here. You can see we've been getting very close to the normal range, pre-pandemic range. We jumped in the data here, skewed the axis here a little bit so you can see a little closer. Again, 9.5 million is where that question is that we're talking about, and that's where we'd expect things to be throughout the summer. We're heading into the summer driving season. Of course, a lot could be followed by this. Keep in mind, if we want to see some sort of pent up demand or new activity for consumers start traveling again, maybe they're going to drive on summer vacation, we might expect this to get, closer to 9.8 or 9.9, maybe even 10 million barrels per day. That would be sort of a new high, a new plateau, so to speak. Where has this been as a relative to that average? Well, we're about 91%. We got a little higher, closer to 98% back in April. So again, things are ticking higher, but we're getting into that summer driving season. So that's all part of the context that we have to keep in mind. Of course, one more thing to share with you. We don't have a question on this, but it's, of course, driving a lot of this. Part of the conversation in chat are gasoline prices. We crossed the $3 mark for the first time since 2014 here in the month of May. Of course, we're a long ways up from where we were a year ago. We saw some sub $2 prices at the national level, but throughout the last part of 2020 and also the early parts of 2021, gas has been on an upward trajectory. We spent a lot of time in April and early May around 280. Of course, gasoline prices caught attention with the pipeline hack that we saw earlier in this month, but of course, gas prices were already headed higher, well past that 280 mark. The second thing we want to point out here is while $3 is the highest price we've seen in recent history and recent memory, this high $2 level is not uncommon. We spent a lot of time there in 2018, 2019, but also gas prices above $3 a gallon is not all that uncommon in the last decade or so. So about 34% of observations of the weekly data since January 2010 have been above $3 a barrel, or excuse me, $3 a gallon. So thinking about gasoline here in the US, last year we really watched the consumption. The consumption's starting to get back to normal, but now we have to keep an eye on gasoline prices. They've been turning higher. And of course, we got to see where that plays out. And of course, when we see things get closer to that $4 range, like we saw in 2008 and then 2011, 12, and 13, there starts to be concerns about the impact of the economy at that end as well. So a lot of moving pieces here. Update your forecast network question if you're a user. If not, invite you to step in and be a part of the network to challenge your thinking, to learn from yourself, and to help sort through all the noise out there. Again, David Whitmore with Ag Economic Insights. In the meantime, stay curious.